Hey, I want to share something that many of us have gone through but seldom talk about. What happens when a woman realizes she's lost you? Picture this. Have you ever heard someone say, "You don't know what you've got until it's gone"? That phrase takes on a whole new meaning in relationships. It's not just about regret. It's about self-reflection, memories, and the clarity that comes with loss. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine went through a tough breakup. At first, his ex seemed fine, maybe even distant. But months later, she began reaching out with random texts like, "Hey, saw something that reminded me of you." He asked, "Why now? Why does she care?" This got me thinking about why absence creates such emotional gravity. Let's dive into what really happens when someone realizes they've lost you and how to handle it. Point 1. Reconnecting efforts. The first sign? She'll try to reconnect, but not in obvious ways. Maybe she likes an old post on Instagram or sends a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" Does that sound familiar? It's not random, it's intentional. Take my co-worker Lisa, for example. She shared how she reconnected with an ex after months of silence. She said, "I didn't want to seem desperate, so I just liked one of his posts and hoped he'd notice." This is what I call the breadcrumb trail, a subtle way of saying, "I'm thinking about you," without fully opening up. If you notice these breadcrumbs, don't rush to conclusions. Take a moment to observe. Is she genuine, or is it just nostalgia? Sometimes these actions are more about her testing her own feelings. Before we move on, let me ask you, what would you do if an ex reached out tomorrow? Keep that in mind as we move on to her next steps. Point 2. Testing the waters. When she finally reaches out directly, it's usually not emotional at first. Instead of saying, "I miss you," it's more likely to be something safe like, "How's work going?" This approach isn't random. It's about self-protection. No one wants to risk outright rejection. I once read in Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People that people are naturally risk-averse when it comes to emotional vulnerability. This applies here. She's testing the waters, hoping you'll meet her halfway. Think about your intentions. Are you open to reconnecting? If so, keep it light but honest. If not, be respectful but firm. Let her know where you stand without giving false hope. Here's the exciting part. Her subtle messages often lead to something deeper. Point 3. Why absence creates fear. Here's the truth. Absence forces clarity. Think about a time you stepped away from something, a job, a friendship, or even a hobby. Didn't it give you perspective? The same thing happens in relationships. For her, your absence creates a void. At first, she might believe you'll come back, but when she sees you've moved on, no likes, no replies, that's when the fear sets in. She starts questioning, did I take him for granted? Psychologists call this loss aversion. We fear losing something more than we enjoy gaining it. It's why people act impulsively when they realize they've lost something valuable. Stay grounded. If you've been focusing on personal growth during the no-contact phase, keep going. Your progress is about you, not her. But here's the twist. This realization can lead to surprising opportunities to reconnect, if it's right for you. Point 4. When it's okay to reconnect. Sometimes reconnections happen for the right reasons. Maybe the breakup was due to a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, or external pressures. In these cases, a sincere conversation can clear the air. I know a couple that broke up because of conflicting schedules and stress, not because of a lack of love. Months later, they reconnected at a mutual friend's party. After an honest talk, they realized their breakup was a mistake, and now they're married with 2 kids. Ask yourself, what caused the breakup? If it was something superficial, a second chance might work. But if deeper issues like dishonesty or incompatibility were involved, it's wiser to let go. Not every reconnection leads to reconciliation. Point 5. Understanding her feelings. So what is she feeling? Regret, nostalgia, maybe guilt, regret for not appreciating what she had, nostalgia for the good times, and guilt for her role in the breakup. This emotional mix often triggers her to reach out. But remember, these feelings are about her journey, not yours. As Mark Manson writes in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, people often chase closure to feel better about their own choices. It's important to recognize when her actions are about self-healing versus genuinely wanting to reconnect. Stay self-aware, understand her feelings, but don't let them dictate your actions. Your growth and well-being come first. At the end of the day, losing someone teaches us about ourselves, whether it's her reflecting on what she lost or you realizing what you deserve.